Okay, so this is a neat website that you can use. This is dafont.com, so DAFONT.com. Okay, and so you can click through, and there are thousands of fonts. I don't know if this is really how many is on there, 58,000, but there are all kinds of things. You can download these to your computer. Okay, so that's what this is intended for, and you can use these. Some people, that's how they, that's one of the things that they create. They create fonts, they sell fonts. And you can see that at least to use this commercially, you would have to buy this or you could get in trouble. So we're going to just use this as a resource because there's so many good things here to look at. And so what you can do is click in different categories to pick something that you possibly like. And so maybe you want to look at something that is like an old school font, okay? And you want to look through and find something that looks like that. Maybe you want to look through, I don't know, graffiti, and you want to draw something that looks like one of these. So what's neat about this is you can preview this font by typing the word in the top of this. And so if I was picking a word, let's say that I would do create, and I can submit that, it will change and it will preview everything for me and show me exactly what those will look like, okay? So maybe I change my mind, I want to look at something else. How about old school, or maybe I already did that. Yeah, old school, how about comic? You can, click through and find something that you really like, and then you need to decide what word do you want to draw, okay? So this is up to you. Everybody's different. We are going to make the word white, okay? So you're just drawing the outline of it. If the word has something like a highlight in it, let's see if I can find one. Maybe cartoon. Like how this has a highlight, then maybe we would just do the highlight black instead, okay? So that's kind of where we're at. Let me switch my camera. And I'm going to try and get this. Let's make this smaller and put this in front of it. Possibly. That's what I tried last time. Okay, so you can kind of see like both of those screens at the same time. I'm going to be, I think, I'm going to try this one. This font, I like how fonts are called something different. This one's called YouTube Star. So this is the font that I'm going to draw. It's kind of up to you on which one you want to do. You could do one that's all caps. You could do one that has lowercase. But we are going to use the assistance of this grid. And do you remember, like in grade school, let me draw this on something, when you were learning how to write, you would write on something that looked like this, right? And so this would help you, like your big letter or capital letter goes up here, your smaller letter goes down here. Okay, so this is the same kind of concept. I've used it before with just 2 boxes, but I've added a box down to the bottom. Because sometimes what happens is you have like a letter that goes down to the base and you need like an extra set for that. Okay, so what we're using is, this would be like the capital like section, right, that you would use. This would be like the lowercase, and then this would be if you had like a Y or a J or something like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use this for mine. What's nice about this, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to transfer this. So it doesn't matter how many mistakes you make on this, or if you push too hard, or if you have lots of erasing marks, because we are not having this as our final. Okay, we're going to transfer it, and I'm going to show you a really fast way to do that. So first, what I need to do is figure out, I have, say, CRE. A-T-E. Believe it or not, when you start to draw things, sometimes you can misspell them because you are so focused on drawing what you, drawing the letter rather than thinking about the word. So I have 6 letters. I need to make 6 sections. And so you could divide this up to using the boxes that I have like right here. Okay, but everybody's going to have to custom make what works for them. Okay, and for their word. And so let me look and see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So like I don't have enough to make them all 2 boxes, and I do want it to fit on this size of a piece of paper. So like you can see this one, I want it to be in the center of that cardstock. Okay, so I don't want to make it any bigger than really what's here. So I need to divide this. You could get a ruler, or you could do like, I'm going to do every 1.5 boxes and draw myself like some new grids. Okay, so let's look. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what happens, like I had someone who did the word achieve last block, and they had a letter that looked like this, like that was really skinny. And so the I was just a stick. So you might have to make, like, think about how big these boxes are, and maybe the box that has that I needs to be a skinny box. Okay, so you're kind of sectioning these out, pretending that there's a box around them. So just for ease of you understanding and seeing where this is, I'm just going to draw myself. These are my boxes. Okay, so I am going to draw, because all of mine is cap. I know I don't need this bottom section, but I am fitting my C in here, my R here, my E, my A, my T, and my E. They're all going to go in those. Okay, and it's okay that it's not perfect because I am going to transfer this later. So if I look, you can see this is what I'm going to try and draw. And so what I'm trying to do is make the top of the C touch the top of this box, the bottom touch the bottom, and the sides touch the sides. Okay, and you can see if I were to draw a straight line right here, only part of it would actually touch that. Okay, so we're pretending there's a box there, and so I am going to draw what I see. It is flat on the bottom. Okay, and then it goes kind of up. Same thing here, it's flat here. And then I'm thinking, okay, that's at an angle. Okay, so I'm just looking at what is there and what I see. You can erase and refine some of this. And then I think that highlight's kind of nice. I think it adds a little style to it, so I'm going to put that there. So there's my C. I'm going to look with my R, same thing, parts, you got to see which parts actually hit. Okay, and so it looks like it kind of goes in a little bit and comes back out. I'm going to kind of leave that hanging. I don't really know where I want that to be. And I know that I have this kind of section right here, so I'm going to kind of box that in. Look at this part because I know this lines up. Okay, and then I want this to be in the center, which that probably is too far. Okay, so you kind of look at where these sections are and kind of go little by little and like box those in. Figure out where you want to put them. I feel like that's probably a little skinnier. Okay, but this box is going to really help you draw this and that's too far over. And allow you to erase and not have any fear of messing anything up. Okay, and I feel like that might be, well, we're going to keep going. I would keep refining this. So I have a little highlight here and a little dot that goes underneath. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to do one more just to show you. We'll see how fast I can go just to get these done. Really, that's probably more square. So section these out. And then this part is like above, it looks like. This is higher. You could kind of say, well, and this is lined up with the outside. So really the top of, or the front of that E, gosh, is really probably pretty close to that. And then you kind of think, where does that go? Okay, bear with me. I'm just going to do this real fast so then I can show you a completed one. And then think about where does that bottom part actually go. And then same thing here, up at the top. Okay, so let me finish this E just so we can go ahead and cut this out and figure out what we're doing next. So this looks very similar to this one. I'm going to have it go above. Okay, so if this is where I am, okay, so this is what it would look like. I'd add those highlights in, but now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make all of my like erasing and finalize all my letters right here, okay? I don't want to have, like I had someone say, oh, this one's not close enough, so I'm just gonna like move it when I transfer it. It doesn't work. You can't ever line things up right. It's just not, it doesn't work. So we want them to fill the box. I had some people, they were drawing like their A, just like floating inside like this. Okay, this is not how, it's got to touch all those sides. At least a part of it has to touch those sides. It might be like it barely touches that because it's a, you know, a cursive looking A, but it needs to be confined in a box and it needs to be stretched out so it touches those edges. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this and flip this over, and I'm going to take my pencil and I am going to cover the back of this with graphite. Okay, and they make something called transfer paper. I don't know if anybody's used it, but this is a cheap way to do this and is really helpful in all kinds of avenues. And this is like, you drew this, you made this drawing, so now you want to recreate it and, you know, make it better. And so what I'm going to do is cut this out, and I'm going to give myself a little bit of a gap around here. Okay, so then I can take this, and on my piece of paper, I can put this down and I can center this. And if you look, like if I were to rub my finger, graphite's going to come off. Okay, because there's so much on there. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and center this where I want this to be. Since I have a gap on all of it, it's going to be fine. So then I'm going to have to hold this down, and then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to go through and I'm going to trace, whoops, over the top of this. Okay, and I can even trace this little, you know, highlight, but I'm going to go through, trace everything. Make sure you don't forget the insides of the letters. And just slow and steady, get that retraced. I'm going a little fast, but this will still suffice to show you how this works. Okay, so last one. Okay, so now I can take this off, and let me hold this up because you're not going to see it right from there, but you can see my letters, like you can see the lines from what I had drawn from this. And now you can see them on this, but it's only one line. You know what I mean? You don't see all of your mess ups